No more poverty and misery. To victory, the people will always be united.
There is finally some hope in Honduras, as after 12 years of a disastrous right-wing national party, which was brought on by a U.S.-backed coup in 2009, the country has now elected a Democratic Socialist as president. Xiomara Castro is a former First Lady and now the first female president of Honduras, winning 53% to 34%, with just over half the votes counted so far. Here's a clip from her speech.
We are going to build a new era. Out with the death squads. Out with corruption. Out with drug trafficking and organized crime. No more poverty and misery. To victory, the people will always be united. Together, we are going to transform this country.
And during one of her campaign speeches, she said, "I believe firmly that the democratic socialism I propose is the solution to pull Honduras out of the abyss we have been buried in by neoliberalism, a narco-dictator, and corruption." Castro has promised big changes, including a constitutional overhaul, UN support in the fight against corruption, and looser abortion restrictions. Castro rode a wave of popular discontent with 12 years of National Party governance, which peaked in Hernandez's second term. She'll face major challenges as the Central American country's president. Unemployment is above 10%. Northern Honduras was devastated by 2 major hurricanes last year, and street gangs drag down the economy with their extortion rackets and violence, driving migration to the U.S. But of course, many of the issues that Honduras has faced over the past 12 years is a result of the U.S.-backed coup in 2009. And I'll get to more on that in a minute here. But first, it's worth pointing out that the leader of the ruling National Party, Nasri Asfura, who took over for President Juan Orlando Hernandez to run as a National Party leader, actually conceded. He graciously conceded. Now, it shouldn't be surprising. It shouldn't be surprising to see a right-wing leader concede, but unfortunately, in this day and age, it is very surprising to see it. But here is some of his comments. So Asfura said he had met with Castro and her family. Quote, "Now I want to say it publicly," the conservative candidate said, "that I congratulate her for her victory, and as president-elect, I hope that God illuminates and guides her so that her administration does the best for the benefit of all of us Hondurans to achieve development and the desire for democracy." So there was a lot of fear out of Honduras that he would not concede and they would continue fighting it. And of course, the U.S. did not acknowledge the victory by Castro until this concession. But a little more on why there was so much worry about this. So Asfura's recognition of the outcome was a relief to many Hondurans who had feared a contested election after a debacle in 2017 led to street protests that left 23 people dead. Following that vote, the government imposed a curfew and only 3 weeks later declared the now outgoing president, Juan Orlando Hernandez, the winner, despite the Organization of American States observation mission calling for an election redo. So back in 2017, it's disputed that Hernandez actually won that election. So because of that, there was this ongoing fear that this National Party was going to continue dominating and just rejecting any sort of victory by the other side. But it's good that they actually conceded and that Castro is now going to be the new president. But now, a little more here. So this is from Democracy Now! This is going to be Ciapa Portillo, a Honduran scholar and author who was on Democracy Now! Discussing the victory in the U.S.-backed coup 12 years ago.
The history of the United States has been a history of intervention. The 2009 coup under a Democratic presidential administration was the most tragic event of the 21st century in not just Central America, but in Latin America. It's a shameful moment in the Obama administration, and also demonstrates sort of the U.S. lack of care for Central America, right? That constitution that Zelaya wanted to change was written during the Cold War period, during Reagan, right? It was a constitution that was antiquated, that needs change, that didn't reflect the community now. Linking Honduras to Venezuela or linking Honduras to, was irrelevant. Honduras has a different history, has a different, kind of, colonization by, United States politics since the early 20th century and even before. And so it didn't make sense, that the Democratic Party wouldn't respect the rule of law in Honduras. Sadly, Honduras has not recovered from the coup until now. And this is how people are seeing it as a moment of hope.
So Democracy Now!, just shout out to them. They have a fantastic breakdown video. That's a piece of it on this victory in Honduras, foreshadowing Castro's run for president. So they talked to her back in 2011. They show a clip of that, the impact of the National Party over the last 12 years on the country. And also, as you saw a bit of it there, the US-backed coup in 2009 that led to all of this. So I'll link to their video below this video under the description or in the description box on YouTube. But look, overall, this victory gives hope not only to Honduras, not only to Latin America, but honestly to the world, that leaders that actually lead with compassion and empathy and hope and love can actually win. So I look forward to seeing how the citizens of Honduras will be impacted and potentially the impact that this will have across Central America and potentially the world.